people get involved in your campaign. They say, you know what, I love this woman. I love what she's doing. She's fighting for us. This is John Villarreal reporting for Conservative New Media.
Conservative New Media viewers, what's going on? It's me, John D. Villarreal, Paul F. Villarreal, there on the phone. Now, we have just seen the most explosive video to come out in quite some time. This really just gets at the heart of it and exposes the whole situation. Just like we've been telling you about. You had the NAACP that had basically had a resolution for the Tea Party to repudiate their racist elements and stuff like that. You had the big explosion with the Black Panther case and Megyn Kelly doing unbelievable work there at Fox and putting it squarely on Department of Justice, Eric Holder, and Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez, his assistant Attorney General over there. And some of the people from the Department of Justice resigning in protest to what they said was an unequal treatment. By design, by policy was the allegation, depending on the defendant's race. Okay? We've covered those. But here's the thing. This ties it all together. This ties it all together right here. And I'm going to go down a whole litany of things that brings it together. We've been telling you from the beginning what's going on with this administration. And some people didn't want to listen. Now you have to listen because it all comes together. Paul, what happened in this case? We already have a great video up. We'll link to it right here. You can check it right now. And then come back for the pièce de résistance. What is going on with this case? With this thing here with the USDA official is crazy. This is what she said at the NAACP itself. What happened?
Well, as you mentioned, we talked about this in the other video. People can check it out. But what happened here, John, is the NAACP walked out on a very weak branch, and it just collapsed underneath them. And that goes for the Obama administration as well, including Michelle Obama, who was at the NAACP event, in which they were passed this silly resolution. So what happened was, as you mentioned, NAACP said, oh, the Tea Party should come out and condemn the racists in its midst. By the way, the Tea Party just got rid of Mark Williams, who put up some offensive posts, so that's been acted upon. Anyway, so they come out and they're like, oh, this is really troubling. We have to get rid of these racist elements of the Tea Party. And of course, you know, a lot of people feeling they were smearing the entire Tea Party. And so what happens is some video is uncovered showing that not only was there a woman, a black woman, at one of their events apparently saying that she engaged in racist acts against the white farmer or racist actions, but she's an Obama official. So it's what critics have been saying that the left and Obama surrogates are trying to do before the 2010 midterms is they got to drum up fear and resentment along racial lines to try to get the Obama voters, the minority voters and stuff, out to vote because Obama's fortunes are sinking right now, so the Democrats. So what do? They come out with this stunt resolution, and what happens 2 days later? Oh yeah, by the way, the NAACP had a woman there talking about racism and racist acts. How'd that work? And so you got that. The NAACP is totally disgraced now. But also, there's been this narrative about the Black Panthers case and Barack Obama's Department of Justice, headed by Eric Holder. And J. Christian Adams, who worked in the Department of Justice, has come out and said, look, there's basically, in his opinion, been an edict handed down saying we're not going to prosecute voting rights cases against the racial minorities. You know, this is what the Black Panthers case dismissed. Well, now you have somebody in the Obama administration or a federal appointee coming out and saying, yeah, allegedly, this is what my take is of what she said. Allegedly saying, yeah, I discriminated against this guy because he was white. So it's like, this brings the Black Panther stuff right back up again. We've got 106 days until the election. This is devastating.
It's totally devastating. And I want to really bring this home right now. You guys have to understand this and spread the word and spread this video everywhere. Now, check this out. First of all, this is America, okay? This is where everybody is equal, okay? That's the way it's supposed to be. The same rights and privileges and responsibilities under the Constitution. You understand what I'm saying? Where all men are created equal, right? That means men and women, of course. Now, here is supposed to be a guy, Barack Obama, who's supposed to be a post-racial president and all that type of stuff. And see, we are the ones that immediately went on Facebook and Conservative Media Group and blasted Mark Williams for that stupid post that he said. I've met Mark Williams. He was cool to me. I just met him once at the spring California GOP convention where he was some big speaker and the Tea Party Express was a big thing and he must have been in with the big wigs there and they were all friendly and stuff like that. And I called them out too. Because this is wrong. We're against discrimination for anybody. We're against all racial discrimination. Okay? And I caught some heat from that because I got a lot of Tea Party friends. I'm not myself a member of any Tea Party, but whatever. I spoke to Tea Party groups just now, whatever, and I like the citizen involvement. But when and here's the thing, there is no leader of the Tea Party movement. There's no one leader. There's a bunch of different groups. But the NAACP has a leadership. So I don't know who would actually repudiate anybody. Now the Tea Party and some national group that I didn't even hear of kicked Mark Williams out immediately. But the NAACP, they were, from what I could see, my personal opinion, applauding this lady. We didn't hear about this until we heard about it today from some right-wing activists. And then Breitbart and Drudge and Conservative New Media. Okay? We're the ones on the front line. Conservative New Media, Breitbart, Drudge, I'll tell you, you didn't hear anyone repudiate this thing until we moved on it, okay? Similarly, we didn't see her kicked out of the Obama administration. You think that no one else was there? You think that no one else heard about these remarks? Please. But meanwhile, Janet Napolitano and these other people at Homeland Security are monitoring veterans returning home because who knows, they might be terrorists. Forget about what's going on in Fort Hood or anywhere else or underwear bomber or something like that. We need to monitor veterans. Now here's the thing. If this was one thing, one incident, one person that says something stupid, I mean, I say stupid things all the time. That'd be one thing. If they called on her and she apologized, that'd be one thing. But there's more that she said, and there's a bigger picture here. And the bigger picture is the Department of Justice and what happened, or frankly, didn't happen to the Black Panther case. But that was already explosive and bad enough. But let's not forget, Conservative New Media audience, America out there, let's not forget the rest of it. And what's the rest of it? The rest of it is Reverend Wright. The rest of it is 20 years in his church. The rest of it is a guy that played up all this, in my opinion, inflammatory racial craziness for what, in my personal opinion, was either insane ideology, right, black liberation theology, and or personal gain and profit. Who knows? I don't know what his motivation was or is. I just know that this is ridiculous. That's what I know. 20 years in that church. This is a spiritual advisor, personal friend, married him, everything like that. So he's sitting in the church for 20 years and he said, hey, it's not, I have nothing to do with that. Please. Then we said, oh, you can't judge Obama for that. Oh, okay, that's one thing. Then his wife saying, hey, for the first time in my adult life, I'm proud of this country. Why? Because they elected your husband? But what was wrong with America before that, Michelle Obama? What are you so angry about, Michelle Obama? And then, if that wasn't enough, remember Harvard. Remember Boston. Remember Professor Henry Louis Gates. Obama's buddy, African American, extremely outspoken, from what I can remember, if I'm remembering correctly, in my personal opinion, about racial issues. Obama didn't know the facts, and he had this Sergeant Crowley, seems to be a really very well respected member of the Boston police force out there, who actually teaches classes on racial tolerance, and Obama comes out and says that the police acted stupidly. and blows Crowley up without knowing a dang thing about the case. Then he has to have his beer summit to get out of that. And everyone explains that away. Oh, we need a conversation about race. How many conversations about race have we had with Obama before people understand that something's kind of weird here?